Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
I ain't stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image of me that you're used to. I look money, a king bee making honey, see? Deep state, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round, I'm the new sheriff in town. All my people rise up and stand your ground. Now drink up all the Diet Coke you got on your shelf. So just let me introduce myself. My name is Trump D. I like my mashed potatoes lumpy. Fake news, oh how I like to punk thee. That little sniper on the slow tin. He took a shot but he missed me. I don't fall, y'all, I'm like the ever-ready bunny. Still going strong and spunky. So put on your big boy pants. Come on, let's do the dance.
The Trumpy dance is your chance to do the Trump.
Come on, do the Trumpty Trump. Come on and do the Trumpty Trump. Check me out, y'all. We do the Trumpty Trump. Just watch me do the Trumpty Trump. Do you know what I'm doing? We do the Trumpty Trump. Come on, everybody do the Trumpty Trump. It's time to do the Trumpty Trump. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, folks. We're doing the Trumpty Trump because it's just a party up in here.
Trumpty Trump. Yeah, let's say he got a good weekend, right? Another good weekend for him.
He always has good weekends. That's because he actually works on the weekends. In fact, he's working 24/7. Dude is just on it.
He is. We'll hear a little bit about what he did this weekend in some of the stories. Yeah.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we will. And speaking of that, sir, let's go ahead and start the show off right with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
All right, let's say hello to our good friends at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there. Get yourself some AR barrels. You got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire, plus barrels for pistols, handguns, shotguns, whatever you may need. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, personal gear, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together. Place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor. Do them a favor. Do yourselves a favor. Visit their websites. We make it real simple for you. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, spend some money with them, and let them know it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also want to remind you, if you're watching this program, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, you're watching us live, which means we're taking your comments. We would love to hear what you have to say. Just go ahead and let us know what's up. Let's know where you're watching the program from. Let us know what you think about it. Heck, even if you're talking about the topics that we're talking about today, no worries. Even if you disagree with us, go ahead and let us know, because it's especially fun when you disagree with us, because that gives us the opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
Mock you.
Mock you. we take great pleasure in mocking people. Not because we want to be mean, not because we want to embarrass anybody, but because it's fun.
And that's why God put other people here, to make fun of them.
Exactly. I'll tell you what, I firmly believe that the Lord has a sense of humor. If you do not believe that the Lord has a sense of humor, just take a look at a duck-billed platypus.
Yes, a duck-billed platypus. Yeah.
They are hilarious. Or then there's the fact that, once again, I cannot speak for everyone, but while some of us are fighting to make sure that we can keep hair on the top of our heads, I have absolutely no problem growing hair on my ears.
Yes.
How is that not just the Lord's sense of humor?
Well, because as you get older, you neglect your ears and you don't cover them up in the cold, so he wants to make sure they stay warm.
There you go. Maybe that's it. I still believe it's a sense of humor, but anyway. Yeah. It is what it is. Talking about a sense of humor, how about this one? Now, talk about having think about this. We've already dealt a blow to Venezuela, right? One of the chief enemies and chief enemies of the United States because, well, they just keep sending. First of all, they keep providing oil to our enemies, as well as trying to ship drugs up here to the United States. Then we go after Iran, and we once again shipping oil to our enemies and funding terrorism against us and against our friends. And lo and behold, guess who else is on the axis of assholes? I mean, evil that is paying the price for crossing our president, and that would be the folks over in Cuba, as their power grid collapsed thanks to the U.S. oil blockade. Now, this right here is being reported by the folks over at CNN. Cuba's power grid collapses after weeks of U.S. oil blockade. Cuba's electrical grid suffered a total collapse on Monday, the country's power operator said, marking the latest nationwide blackout in recent years. And the first since the U.S. effectively shut off the flow of oil to the island of roughly 10 million people. Efforts are underway to restore power across the country, the state-owned operator said, adding that no faults detected in the electrical units operating at the time of the grid collapse. Nationwide power outages have been reported frequently over the past few years. Cuban officials have previously attributed them to U.S. economic sanctions, though critics have also faulted lack of investment in the island's ailing generation system. Cuba heavily relies on oil for electricity generation. The effective blockade of fuel ships has worsened the country's energy crisis, causing intermittent power cuts, a rationing of medical supplies, and a decrease in tourism. Officials have said fuel prices have skyrocketed so much that gas can be as much as $9 a liter on the unofficial market, meaning it costs more than $300 to fill up a car's gas tank, which is more than Cubans earn in a year. I heard rumors, that that Cuba was close to cutting a deal with the United States, and I'm wondering if gas prices have anything to do with it.
Yeah, well, you can remember it's not just gas prices; it's all oil, right? So
yes,
obviously they get it from there. Their power distribution, everything else as well. I mean, they knew it was coming. For what is it, 60 years now? They've been hoping that we didn't cut off their oil supply, and the president did it in 2 weeks. When he knocked out Venezuela and Iran. So the blockade's always been there. We've always had the sanctions against Cuba. Since the 60. To pay a pig 62, and it just it's time to step up to the old plate there and negotiate, and more than willing from everything that we're hearing. They've actively been reaching out to have conversations.
And folks, you need to understand, this isn't about trying to get something from Cuba. This is literally about letting their people live free. Same thing in Venezuela. It's not about taking Venezuelan oil, because the truth is the United States is the largest producer of oil in the world. We don't need Venezuelan oil. In fact, their oil is quite inferior to the oil that we produce here in the United States. The whole point is that rather than having communist regimes or dictators benefit from their oil, the idea is they want the people to benefit from the oil. Same thing right there in Iran. They basically, the whole point is that the people need to be free. And, in that particular case, we do have a little bit more of a direct interest in that we don't want them dropping bombs on us or giving oil to our enemies.
Yeah, exactly right. And when you're faced with, like you said, $37, $38 a gallon for gas, that motivates you a little bit. Yeah, when your power is off, that motivates you a little bit.
It does motivate you a little bit. And I get it. Some of you are thinking, well, what happened to America first? Well, let's just be honest. If we don't deal with our enemies, in particular enemies who have demonstrated time and time again that they are willing to strike at us if they can, they're willing to harm us if they can. If we can't hit them when they are their weakest and take them out of commission, that's not doing it when it's going to cost us very, very little, that's America first.
Removing a communist dictatorship that's 90 miles off our border is good for America.
It is good for America. And remember, and America first does not mean America only.
That's right.
Anyway, good stuff is happening once again. Once again, it's just another win for the president over the weekend, or I guess it began today or early mornings. But and I get some of you folks out there, man, you just don't get it. No matter what happens, the media is going to tell you that the world is in shambles because Donald Trump is winning. But if Donald Trump is winning, we're winning. Our country is winning. I get it. Gas prices are a little higher right now, but trust me, in the long run, they are going to be way, way down. And by the way, in the short run, they're still down a whole lot compared to what they were under Joe Biden.
That's right. That's right. The only places that we have shambles are California and Minnesota. So,
and that has nothing to do with Donald Trump, except for the fact that Donald Trump's not making the decisions in those states.
That's right. That's right.
Not saying. I told you. I said it before. I call balls and strikes. When Donald Trump does good, I say he does good. When he does bad, I say he does bad. And I think I've been relatively objective, but I just haven't had a whole lot of bad to point out. I have when it's happened, but I haven't had a whole lot of bad to point out.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good then, I guess.
I would say the jury is still out because he's got most of his second term left, but. So far, most effective president of my lifetime is definitely in the running.
That's right. Number 47. Yep.
There you go. More information coming out about the shootings that took place last week. You might have heard that we already talked about the fact that the shooter at Old Dominion talked about the fact that he was actually part of an early release program. And by the way, early release program, and he was in jail for supporting terrorism. I don't know how dude got out so that he could engage in another terrorist attack, but there is that. But then this story came out, and I had to go ahead and share this because this was actually being reported by the BBC. And if the BBC, who is America-hating, communist-loving, if they're reporting it, there's got to be some truth to it because it totally undermines their narrative. Michigan synagogue attacker's brother was Hezbollah commander, IDF says. They had to throw in the IDF says. A brother of a man who attacked a Michigan synagogue on Thursday was a Hezbollah commander who was killed by an airstrike last week, the Israel Defense Forces says. The IDF says. Police say Ayman Muhammad Ghazali died after driving a car full of explosives into the Temple Israel synagogue. Members of his family, including two brothers, had reportedly been killed in an Israeli attack on Lebanon in March. The IDF said his brother, Ibrahim Muhammad Ghazali, had managed weapons operations for the Badr. How do you say that, Mike? Badr? Bad? With an R?
Yes.
Bad with an R. There you go. Unit in Hezbollah, a political and military group in Lebanon. It says here the BBC has not independently confirmed the brother's identity and has contacted Homeland Security, the Defense Department, and the FBI. Now, what's funny about this, Mike, is when they were talking about the school that was hit in the attacks, you notice they didn't say that they didn't independently confirm that a school was hit. Because even though they didn't, back when the bomb, back in Gaza, when supposedly the Israelis had bombed a hospital, and turns out, the bomb actually hit the parking lot, and oh, by the way, it was a Hamas bomb. They didn't bother to say, well, we didn't independently confirm that, or even the number of dead in Gaza. They never said they didn't bother. But in this particular case, they're confirming we did not independently confirm, because, I guess when the good guys report something, they have to independently confirm it.
Yeah. Yes. Right. It clearly a little bit of bias there, right? A little bias in their reporting.
Yeah. That ought to be how they be. And I really don't, I really want to be able to just trust the media. But right now, all I can do is trust them to be exactly who they are.
Right. But it makes it so much easier when it's a consistent lie, Craig. We know everything going in is just the opposite.
That is true. That is true. But like I said, in this particular case, I always look at it this way. When it comes to a liberal media source, if they are reporting something that undermines their narrative, I find it to be a little more trustworthy, only because they're not as likely to, they're not going to tell the truth and make themselves look bad. Now, what they may do is they may underplay the story. So there may be a ton of evidence that this dude is actually was related to terrorists, and they're just like, well, we didn't independently confirm.
Yeah, we just gonna wait a little bit on that.
We're just gonna wait a little bit on that.
No, it's no longer in the public eye.
Yeah, then we'll go back and say, yeah, we confirmed it.
Yep.
Dude's a tourist. Oy vey.
Yeah, that's them. That's what they do.
Wonder about these folks. But being hypocritical, well, that's the media, and that by the way, also happens to be Democrat legislators, or in particular, gun-grabbing Democratic legislators. And such is the case in Virginia, as is being reported by Cam Edwards over at Bearing Arms. Virginia Democrats actually decided that they were going to pass some gun laws, some anti-gun laws, but they were going to exempt themselves from their own gun laws. Let's read about it. It says here, in 2026, legislative session has come to a close in Virginia, but not without some last-minute changes to several gun control laws that are now on their way to Governor Abigail Spanberger. None of the changes benefit gun owners except one, and with that bill, only a very select number of Virginians will qualify. This is coming from Garen Shipley. This is a tweet. It says, unreal. Virginia House Democrats just voted to exempt themselves from their cars from the guns in cars bill. Laws for thee and not for me. It says here, House Bill 110 makes it a misdemeanor to leave a handgun in an unattended vehicle or trunk unless such a handgun is placed out of plain view and locked in a hard-sided container, including a locked container that is affixed to the vehicle's interior by a steel cable, bolt, or welding. Include a locked glove compartment or a locked center console. The bill also sets the boundaries for the, quote, gun-free zone around the state capitol complex, and here's where the carve-out comes in. And this is in item G. It says the provisions of this section shall not apply to any member of the General Assembly who leaves a handgun in an unattended motor vehicle pursuant to 18.2-308.1.71, which such vehicle is parked in any structure reserved for members of the General Assembly under 2.2-1172. So in other words, they've exempted themselves from this very law that they are requiring all other Virginians to comply with. And why does this not surprise me?
I think Cam said it best, right? These laws apply to thee, but not to me. It's they, Craig, are second class. And when they say all guns need to go away, we've always known they never meant themselves. They always meant that it was the lower class, the middle class, not them. They're the upper crust. They're the royalty. They're the monarchy. They are the tyrants. It doesn't apply to them.
Well, right. They are so much wiser, so much more moral than the rest of us. That's the reason why they don't need laws to apply to them, because, you know, their intent is just. Their intent is wise and just and moral, and therefore they are above reproach and ought not be held to the same standard as us mere peasants.
Yes, Craig. Their intent is just to screw us.
Just screw us.
Yep.
That is just us. Us. They believe in just us. They believe in screwing just us. That's what it is. They believe in screwing just us.
Yep.
Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. And, you know, all right, this next one. And I look, folks, I'm just going to say this. I realize that this is a California thing, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because this dude has just really kind of gotten under my skin. We've talked about this, and this is the third time I think we've talked about this particular thing, but there is right now practically a statewide teacher strike in the state of California where teachers from 30 different school districts are basically either at impasse, they are threatening strikes, or they are currently striking while asking for flat out unreasonable things. They're asking for 100% of their healthcare to be covered. They're not saying, okay, we want this amount, which will equal to 100% of the cost of our healthcare. They're saying, we want you to guarantee that you will pay for the cost of our healthcare for not just for them, but for their families as well. On top of that, they're asking for, many of them are asking for 4, 5, 10%, 15% pay raises, not just this year, but next year. Now, the districts that they're asking for this from, many of them are districts that are either about to go into receivership, are laying off like hundreds of employees already before they even negotiate these things. I mean, they're saying, well, you should provide benefits like Oakland City Unified, which just came out of receivership. You Sacramento City Unified, which is about to go into receivership. Like San Francisco City Unified, which is about to go into receivership. Now, mind you, this is an effort that they've been putting together for a while now. In fact, I showed you their website where they talked about how they were coordinating everything, right? Well, now the head of the California's Teachers Association goes on the news and basically says, no, we didn't organize anything. We didn't do this. Here, let me read this. This is from a local station, KCRA. As teacher strikes across the state, the leader of the California Teachers Association denies that the powerful statewide organization directed local educator units to strike at the same time. From Los Angeles to Sacramento, teachers have either been prepared to strike or walking off the job as a part of a campaign CTA launched last year. More than 24 districts aligned their contracts with one another to expire at the same time this year. Quote, CTA doesn't line up contracts, said CTA President David Goldberg, stating local unions coordinated the effort that was then supported by the statewide group, not mandated, right? It is the result of the conditions in which educators are working under decades of divestment. Now, what gets me about this, Mike, is dude is here on TV just flat out lying. He's like, well, California doesn't pay the most. I mean, no, California is one of the first of all, we have some of the highest paid teachers in the entire country. And he's like, well, but cost of living in California is still so expensive, like it's not expensive for the rest of us. And then he accused, by the way, school districts of hiding money, even though they're basically asking to go after money that districts can't spend on salaries.
Craig, this is the same group of people, we've said this before, that couldn't go to teach for 2 years during COVID because they were afraid they were going to get sick, that the healthy children were going to get them sick. And now they can't get back to the classroom, or they won't go back to the classroom unless you pay them more. And they're not teaching, right? We see the numbers. We see what's coming out. We see the graduation rates. We see the comprehension for math and English. They're not even teaching. Are there good teachers out there? Sure, there are. Absolutely, there are. But for the most part, you're dealing with again more of the we are a higher class. We should be paid more for what we do. We are the children's future.
Tell you what, I would be more than happy to pay good teachers more. Let's start doing merit pay. If your students They take the same test at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, and if they make good progress, bam, you get more money. If they don't, then you go on probation.
Yep.
Right? That's the way it would work. Pay
It
teachers
should apply to the administrators and the
yeah.
the principals as well.
Oh yeah. That would definitely be the thing. And if as on a school-wide basis, if you're not doing well, the school has to pay the penalty as well, or the administrators there of the school district. That's the way it should be. I have no problem with paying good teachers more, but right now in the state of California, first of all, you're getting paid well over $100,000 a year. I think the average is like $110,000 a year for a teacher. Starting pay averages somewhere around $60,000 or $70,000. You have a guaranteed job after like 18 months. I mean, it's almost impossible to get rid of a teacher in California who's a bad teacher, let alone get rid of a good teacher. Well, unless you have to lay them off because you've given you're spending too much money. And by the way, that's all, for about 9 months worth of work and every holiday off.
Yeah. What would California say, Craig, if they gave, or there was a proposal to give the same benefits to your first responders?
Oh, well, first responders get serious benefits too. I mean, do not get it wrong. The first responders are unionized. They get really good benefits in California. I got no,
sure but they don't get 3 months off a year. They don't get holidays off a year.
Well, that is true.
They don't get guaranteed employment. They don't get 100% of their medical paid for. They don't get that.
Well, I guess depending on where you work, in some places they do get 100%. But I don't know. My biggest issue is I don't think that public employee labor unions should be able to give to political campaigns because they're basically hiring their bosses. And by the way, these districts that are failing, the ones that are going bankrupt, majority of their board members, matter of fact, almost all of their board members are union hacks. They're people who were put on the board by the unions, and so they caved to the unions, and now the districts are going broke.
Yeah, listen, we're going to get into campaign finance reform. There's such an easy answer to it, but it's obviously ridiculous. See, Craig, it used to be a $500 limit. I'm okay with it even going to $1,000 limit, but it's one donation per social security number or EIN per candidate. That's it. That's all there is to it. So no matter whether you're a business, a nonprofit, a PAC, you could put either $1,000 into this candidate or $1,000 to that candidate. That's it. And if you do more than one to each candidate, then you go to jail.
Well, I would just say I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer because they generally tend to find ways around the law, but I don't know. That may be the way to do it.
Donations must have an EIN or a social security number on them. That's it.
There you go.
Either a business identification number, that's basically your business is social, or your individual social. So let's say you own a company, right? I can send $1,000 from the company to Newsom, and I can send a personal $1,000 to Newsom, and that's it. That's all he gets.
Then you also have to make sure that they're not doing money laundering by taking this big amount of money, giving it to 100 different members of their union to give to political candidates, because that's what they would probably wind up doing. They'd probably say, okay, well, all of y'all, we're going to give you $1,000, and now you're going to go give that to that political candidate.
Yeah, and you just put that in the law. It's got to be direct from those individuals with a statement that it was from you individually.
Right. Once again, if you can find a way to verify it, my problem is they find ways to skirt the law. I still just don't believe that I don't believe that public employee unions should be able to donate money to politicians. If you want to do it individually, you should be able to. Right. But I don't believe that union organizations, in particular union dues, should be able to go to, or they should be able to create political action committees.
Let's put it in there. If we're writing this law, let's put it in there.
There you go. All right, we are in agreement. All right, folks, that now brings us to our parting shots. Our parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word. Get your Hog Holster today. All of our parting shots today are going to be brought to you by the Babylon Bee, fake news that you can trust. And not that they're not funny, but it's primarily today because, well, I ran out of time in terms of downloading videos and stuff like that. Mike sent me some good ones, and I didn't get a chance to get them on. So I will get them on. I will do better in the future, but it's been a day. Anyway, the first one here from the Babylon Bee, fake news you can trust. New York Times retracts story due to several accuracies.
Can't have that.
Can't have reporting on stories that are accurate. Here's another good one. Ayatollah disappointed to learn 72 virgins awaiting him in paradise are all women.
Hey, trans women are women too, so let's give them some of those.
Well, okay, so interesting story. So you know that they're saying that the big thing now they're talking about is, well, in Islam, and I'm once again, I'm just gonna say it. They're saying that, well, they believe that if you act like a woman, if you are gay, well, then you should be castrated, you should be turned into a woman. So they actually believe in trans rights. They just believe that they don't believe in gay rights, but they believe in trans rights. So I guess the Ayatollah, because there's rumor that he is gay, I guess he's going to become the first female Ayatollah of Iran, supreme leader.
Listen, all the time I was over there in these with these desert people, sand people, Craig, they all said that men are for fun and women are for making babies.
Wow. Okay. Ugh. All right, moving right along. Jim Crow 2.0 shouts Chuck Schumer while being escorted out of Costco for not having a membership card.
Hey, I'm joining Costco.
I love that. I love that one. They believe in border security. Man, maybe that's what we need to do, man. Look, I say we institute that as a part of ICE reform, a border patrol reform, is that we just hire people from Costco.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Here's a good one. Bill Clinton selflessly volunteers to help short-staffed TSA with pat downs.
Oh yeah, look at him. He's ready.
He does look ready to go, doesn't he? Here's another one. FBI wondering if swearing allegiance to ISIS might be a slight red flag.
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay. And then finally, just a flesh wound, says legless torso of Iranian Ayatollah.
It's just a flesh wound. Come on.
I love that one. I think I had used it last week. It talked about Iran declares that they have an endless supply of Ayatollahs.
They got it. Line them all up. We'll take care of them all.
We will definitely take care of them all. All right, folks. Well, hey, that brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, we're going to give one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there. Get yourself some AR barrels, rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California is fighting the good fight behind it so they can take California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, they've got it all. Get your group together, get your agency together. Place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
Once again, folks, we very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Taco Tuesday. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will see you mañana.